one part style to the next part. And your robotics, it's an important part of the automation scene in the area of robotics when you talk, and it's a multidisciplinary field, and it does not involve mechanical, electronics, or several other engineering disciplines. And here, the robotics has the objectives to increase the productivity, to reduce production life, and to minimize labor requirement, enhanced quality of the products, and minimize loss of man hours on account of accidents, even make reliable and high speed production. And what is the need for using robotics in industries? The need is to build a performance capability superior to those of human beings in terms of strength, size, speed, and accuracy. And also, it is better than humans to perform simple and repetitive tasks with better quality and consistency. Consistency is very important, and it's possible through robots, and we do not have the limitation and negative attribute of human work such as fatigue, need for, because when human being work, they feel fatigue, and also they need rest, and sometimes they give take they are diverted because attention, so that may not lead to the perfect production of output. And robots are used in industries to save the time compared to human beings, and robots are in very are in value for working conditions, improve working conditions, and reduce risk. And the loss of robotics, here we have, should not injure a human being, the robot should not injure, or through an action allow human being to come to harm. This should not happen. And robots must obey the orders given it to by human beings, except where such order would conflict with the first law. And also, robots must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. And the anatomy of robots, anatomy and subsystem of robots, it's an industrial robots where there are several classes of robots: robotic aircraft, robotic ships, mobile robots, and other. An application of robots in industry is in industry for machine tending, welding, painting, assembly, etc. The industrial robots can be viewed as consisting of a mechanical portion, the manipulator controlled by the microprocessor. And here, when you talk about the anatomy and subsistence of robots, we have actuators, transmission system, power supplies, sensors, electronic software. The types of drive system. Here, when we talk, there are three types of actuators which are currently used in robots. They are electric, pneumatic, and hydraulic. Electric means all robots use electricity as the power source of energy, and electricity turns the pumps that provide hydraulic and pneumatic pressure. It also powers the robot controller and all the electronic components and peripheral devices. In all electronic robots, the drive actuators as well as the controller, are electrically powered, because electric robots does not require a hydraulic power unit. They conserve floor space and decrease factory noise. No energy conversion is required. When you talk about pneumatic, these are generally found in relatively low cost manipulators with low load carrying capacity. And pneumatic drivers have been used for many years for powering simple stop to stop motions. It is inherently lightweight, particularly when operating pressures are moderate. And when you look at the hydraulic, they are either linear position actuators or a rotatory vane configuration. Here, these actuators provide a large amount of power for a given actuator. And if you look at the robotic systems, there are three categories or the types of sensor that are used: vision sensor, tactile and proximity sensors, and voice sensors. Vision sensors, this is one of the area that are receiving a lot of attention in robotics research. Computerized vision systems will be an important technology in future automated factories. Tactile and proximity sensors. Tactile sensors provide the robot with the capability to respond to contact forces between itself and the other object within the work volume. So tactile sensors also can be divided into two types. They are touch sensors and stress sensors. Touch sensors are simply to indicate whether contact has been made with an object or not. And a simple micro switch can serve the purpose of touch sensor. Whereas stress sensors are used to measure the magnitude of the contact force, or strain gauge devices are typically employed in forcing sensors. And the next one is voice or sound sensors. Another area of robotic research is voice sensing or voice programming. Specifications, if you see speed, load bearing capacity, accuracy, repeatability, and precision. Robotic application in automotive manufacturing, we have most highly automated supply chains in the world. They are collaborative robots, robotic painting, robotic welding, robotic assembly, material removal, part transfer and machine tending, and spray painting. Robotic applications is used in space, medical, as well as in the defense also. So this is how we try to understand the automation as well as the robotics. And the robotics, how they are used in different industries, and what is their anatomy, or the type of sensor they go into the robots, and all that we have understood. Now we move to the next one. The next topic is HRD practices and performance measurement. So under this, we try to understand what is the human capital can be perceived based on different dimensions and examined according to their influence and their performance. While human capital dimensions are crucial factors which will influence the firm performance. So under this, we have under the HRD practices and performance manage measurement, we will come across human resource dimensions in WCM, that is world class manufacturing, key performance indicators, performance measurement, environment impact on world class manufacturing, and green audit. So if you look at here, we will come across the how the HRD practices, and how do we measure the performance measurement. So if you look at your HRD resources and dimensions in world class manufacturing, because as we want to get the no waste with low, uh, avoiding the wastage and providing the best quality, and it's what are the key performance indicators to s- understand or determine the HRD practices. It's what are the key performance measurements and also environmental impact. What will be the impact on world class environment impact on world class manufacturing and also on green audit. So first we'll try to understand human resource dimensions in world class manufacturing. So here first when we talk about the human resource or the human capital, which can be perceived based on different dimensions and examine their influence on firm performance. So here, when you look after when you talk about human resource, the first comes about the teamwork, employee engagement, integration of human resources and manufacturing strategy, employee benefits and rewards. So these are the four different topics we'll try to understand. The first one is teamwork. Then we go through the employee engagement, how the employees are being engaged, and what is the integration of human resources and manufacturing strategy, employee benefits and rewards. So if we just look at here, when we talk about human resource, it's very uncertain and unpredictable about the human resource. But it's a very tough task for to make them to work and see that they fulfill the organizational objectives, and that too in world class manufacturing. Human capital dimensions are crucial factors which will influence the firm performance and also the productivity or also the manufacturing concerns. So, with the strong sales and increased attention from the investment community, manufacturing industry requires human capital now more than ever. They plan to the fast growing service sector. Why? Because now many small and large enterprises are realizing the value of effective human capital and also their essential contribution towards the business success and other general challenges of global competition. And product development and cost containment, manufacturing faces major issue in the HR department. And in the time of now the global market has been such a dynamic that HR is HR in manufacturing industry needs more focused attention than ever it was. And also a largest provider of employment and manufacturing industries are surprisingly are facing some serious HR challenges. In that, the first one is recruitment difficulty, employee retention, global competition, training and development, and decline in workforce. When you look at this recruitment difficulty, the large number of job positions to be filled poses a challenge for the HR. So, what makes the task of filling many job positions ever then further more complex is the need of specific skill set required by the worker, because the worker is available but is not available with the skill that is required for the manufacturing concern. So here the manufacturing industry which looks for skilled workers or frequently faces shortages of people with right skill set and abilities, hence forming another hurdle for the HR. Now the other challenge is employee retention. As the increase in turnover rate in manufacturing industry is a common phenomenon, as people often leave to explore new and exciting opportunities. And the other reason for increase in turnover may be due to growth of development of the employee on both professional and personal front. So low package, lack of benefits or poor work environment will make the employee to leave the organization. Because as the employee, they're aspiring for the more pay and more positions, so they leave the organization. And the other thing is global competition. What is happening here? As they increase the task of making the company attract to top talent and innovators in the age of cutthroat competition. So what is happening? The challenge is a challenge important for the survival as well as growth of the company in the industry. Even training and development, and it is a sphere where HR has to operate to its optimum. It is equally essential to provide adequate training to employees in order to keep them updated with the latest developments in the industry and prepare them for better upcoming challenges. Next is decline in workforce. Even though the sector seems to be growing and there is a perpetual demand for workers, there is a shortage of skilled candidates. As salaries in manufacturing is higher compared to combined salaries averages across all other industries. But unfortunately, what is happening? It is not acting as a magnetic factor in attracting new and better talent in this industry. So these are the challenges which they hire the best companies or the best organization which are facing the challenges. That is recruitment difficulty, employee retention, global competition, training and development, and decline in workforce. Then comes the teamwork. A sense of unity and enthusiasm for a common interest and responsibilities will develop among a group of persons who closely associated in a specific task or a cause or enterprise. And teamwork can be linked to two compounds almost essential to modern life, and it's the glue which keeps a team together, or a bond which promotes strength, unity, reliability, and support. It is also the oil that makes the teamwork. Now, here, teamwork has potential underpin so much of what is valuable in work. You know the meaning of synergy, where the sum is greater than the parts. It is important to create teamwork synergizes because supports a more empowered way of working, removing constraints which may prevent someone doing their job properly, or promotes flatter and learner structures with less hierarchy, and also encourages multidisciplinary work where team cut across organizational divides, and fosters flexibility and responsiveness, especially and ability to respond to change, and pleases customers who like working with good teams, and promotes the sense of achievement, equity, and camaraderie essential for a motivated workplace. When managed properly, teamwork is a better way to work. But that being a team leader and the teamwork, they have to work together, understand each other, and see that more strength comes to the team when the best in each team member know what is the theme behind it, what is the key point, why they are making a team, what is the purpose of it. To become any teamwork as a successful or more effective, we need commitment and trust, open lines of communication, diversity of capabilities, adaptable to changing conditions, confidence and creative freedom, culture of ideas and innovation, reward teams for taking risks, clear organizational purpose, concrete team goals, delegate tasks based on strength. So, any team to become successful and the work that is carried by the team can be done successfully and effective when all these factors are done properly. And these factors are, give me a second. So the factors here are commitment of trust. They have to commit and trust each other. The communication should be open and should not be like any like top to bottom like that. It should be open for all the members in the team. Diversity of capabilities and also adaptable to changing conditions, confidence and creative freedom, culture of ideas and innovation. And what are the teamwork skills required? Skills required for a teamwork are listening. It is very important to listen to other people's ideas. Questioning. It is important to ask questions, interact, discuss the objectives of the team. Persuading. Individuals are encouraged to exchange, defend, and then to ultimately rethink their ideas. Respecting. It is important to treat others with respect and to support their ideas. Helping. It is crucial to help one's co workers, which is the general theme of teamwork. Sharing. It is important to share with the team to create an environment of teamwork. Participating. All members of the team are engaged to participate in the team. And communication. For a team to work effectively, it is essential for team members to acquire communication skills and use effective communication channels with one another. Next, what are the team strategies, teamwork strategies? When a teamwork is successful, means the business experiencing a long list of benefits like improved productivity through diversity and innovation, as well as lower rates of burnout and turnover. And here there are few signs that will warn us about the ineffective teamwork in an organization. Missed deadlines and unmet goals, persistent workplace conflict, high turnover. And whenever you look out here, few strategies that can improve teamwork are embrace the diversity of the workforce, build a culture of trust, promote effective communication. Because when teamwork, to improve the teamwork, these strategies has to be complete. The diversity of the workforce, the different people from the different departments. And here what happens when the group thing occurs when there is a lack of thought diversity, or at least those with ideas that oppose the group fail to vocalize them. Why? Because it should not be that you should question them. When you question, you'll get the answer. We go for the better ideas. And also build a culture of trust. Trust is frequently overloaded factor when it comes to teamwork and productivity. But research shows that a lack of trust within a work environment is harmful in more ways than one. If employees don't feel trusted, they are less likely to put forth their best work, and which will lead to suboptimal results from collaboration teamwork. And in a situation where to build a culture of trust, the leader or the manager has to do macro management instead of micromanagement. The micromanagement should not be done in any teamwork. The management should not intervene. Micromanagement should not be done to get the best results, and focus on the results of the team members instead of the time or methods they use to achieve their goals. And the next one is promote effective communication. See, by the time you might be clear that effective communication skills are the foundation of team collaboration. However, exchanging information in the era of hybrid and remote work is complicated. Intercommuni- Internal communication channels, and use some other channel that speed up the communication and make it more effective. So there are few other measures to improve the teamwork. Under that, we have led by example, build up trust and respect, encourage socializing, cultivate open communication. This is the point what we were talking, and clearly outline the roles and responsibilities, organize team processes, set defined goals, recognize good work, mediate conflict quickly and efficiently, allow team members to actively take part in decision making, use a task management software, maintain the balance of work, meet regularly and mix it up, create space, start team traditions, use size to advantage, make hiring a team responsibility, give frequent feedback, take time to celebrate. And the next one is employee engagement. It is defined as an emotional investment and employees make in their organization. It is the passion, involvement, and motivation they bring to work, which they use to guide their work. And engaged employees identify with the goals of the organization and align their own goals with the organization goals. Here, employee engagement is defined as an employee's emotional investment in their work in terms of passion they put into their work and motivation they feel to do their job well. Importance of employee engagement. A Gallup study states that the behavior of highly engaged business units result in 21% greater profitability. Also, employees appreciate a work culture that enables engagement. This means organizations that prioritize engagement are more likely to attract and retain talent. The onus of planning engagement activities and executing them is not on HR alone anymore. So here the drivers of employee engagement are seamless on positive work culture, access to productivity and time management tools, learning and development opportunities, effective leadership and succession planning, workplace wellness initiatives, rewards and recognition. And what is the measurement? How do you measure this employee engagement? We measure on different techniques, or that there are key metrics that are used that quantify the engagement levels of the whole organization. Employee engagement is measured in two types. First one is the data is collected through various channels. Then this data is analyzed against key metrics that quantify the engagement levels of the whole organization. Under that, we have pulse surveys, sentiment analysis, sentiment analysis, employee net promoter score, one on one meetings, stay exit interviews. So, these are the measures or the measurement how employee engagement is measured. Next one is integration of human resources and manufacturing strategy. Here, the integration of human resources management and manufacturing is necessary to consist or consider the competitive priorities of manufacturing strategy, which are directly related to the competitive potential of this functional area. And HRM strategy typically consists of the following factors, that is best fit and best practice, close cooperation, at least in one in theory, between HR and top senior management in the development of the corporate strategy. Next is continual monitoring of the strategy via employee or feedback surveys and policies of HR functional strategy, safe, healthy, and happy workplace, open book management style, performance linked bonuses, 360-degree performance management feedback system, fair evaluation system for employees. So these all are the policies for HR functional strategies, 360-degree performance management feedback system, fair evaluation system for employees, knowledge sharing, highlight performers, open house discussion and feedback mechanism, reward ceremonies, delight employees with the unexpected, benefits of integration. Here, HRM in these industries involve several processes together. They are supposed to achieve the above mentioned goals. So, the process can be performed in a HR department, but some tasks can be outsourced or performed by line managers or other departments. So, when effectively integrated, they provide significant economic benefits to the company. So, when effectively integrated, workforce planning, recruitment, and sometimes separated into attraction and selection, induction, orientation, and onboarding, skills management, training and development, personnel administration, compensation in wage or salary, time management, travel management, payroll, employee benefits administration, personal cost planning, performance appraisal, and labor relations. So, now what are the employee benefits and rewards? When we talk about the employee benefits, benefits are nothing but any perks that are offered to the employee in addition to the salary. We call it as benefits or perks. So, the types of employee benefits. There are various types of employee benefits which are explained, that are under that we talk about. First one is medical insurance, disability insurance, because as it is related to the manufacturing concern, we will have medical insurance, disability insurance, life insurance, retirement benefits, paid time off, and fringe benefits. So here when you talk medical insurance, that has to be provided. Medical insurance covers the cover cost of physician and surgeon fees, hospital rooms and prescription drugs. And the dental and optical care might be offered as a part of overall benefits package, and it may be offered as separate pieces or not covered at all. Next is disability insurance. Disability insurance replaces all part of the income that is lost when a worker is unable to perform their job of illness or injury. And this benefit is not commonly offered. And the next comes the life insurance. This will protect the family of an employee in case of he or she dies. And benefits are paid all at once to the beneficiaries of the policy, usually spouse or children. Next is retirement benefits. Retirement benefits are the funds uh, are set aside to provide people with an income or pension when they end their careers. And paid time off is earned by employees while they work. And there are three common types of paid times off or paid time off are holidays, sick leave, and vacation leave. And most employees earn these as a separate benefit. They don't use those leaves, so they claim it or they take the financial benefit. And the most popular benefit with the employees is paid vacation. The fringe benefits is a variety of non-cash payments used to attract, retain talented employees in the form of tuition assistance, flexible medical or child care spending accounts or child care benefits. So these are the extra given to the employees. Next is employee reward. That are benefits, these are rewards. So the reward system offer to programs to set up by a company to reward performance and motivate employees on individual group levels. They are normally considered separate from salary but may be monetary in nature or otherwise we have a cost to the company. So the type of employee rewards here we talk about intrinsic rewards versus extrinsic rewards, financial versus non-financial rewards, performance based versus membership based rewards. So intrinsic rewards are the personal satisfaction one gets from the job itself, and these are self initiated rewards such as having pride in one's work, having a feel accomplishment, or being a part of teamwork. Job enrichment can offer intrinsic rewards to employees by making work seem more meaningful, whereas extrinsic rewards, on the other hand, are external to the job and come from outside source, mainly management. For example, Apple Computer gives a PC to each of its employees. So that is extrinsic rewards. Next is financial versus non-financial rewards. Rewards may or may not enhance the employee's financial well-being, but if they do, they can do this directly through, for instance, wages in the form of wages, bonus, or any profit sharing, or indirectly through employer subsidized benefits such as pension plans, vacations, sick leave, purchase discounts. Next is performance based versus membership. So sometimes they give memberships to some clubs or some piece work system or some allocation is done in the organization. What are the factors that establish a reward program and designing a reward program? Recognition for reward programs and goals for a good reward system has to be developed. The next we move to the key performance indicators. So if we look at here the key performance indicators in world class manufacturing, the focus is on continuous improvement. As organization adopt world class manufacturing, they need new methods of performance measurement to check their continuous improvement. And traditional performance measurement systems are not valid for the measurement of world class manufacturing practices as they are based on outdated traditional cost management systems. Lagging metrics not related to corporate strategy, inflexible, expensive, and contradict continuous improvement. To know the world class performance, measurement is important because if you can measure it, you can't manage it, and thus you can't improve upon it. Key performance indicators are frequently used in general business to evaluate the success of everything from a specific department to an entire enterprise. So, here KPIs work with raw data of the industry to evaluate how the industries perform. It helps unleash the hidden patterns that help the industries to analyze the bottlenecks, which in turn compels the industries to take preventive measures against such problems. Also, it helps to increase the employees' productivity and the overall industry performance because it helps them to assess their current state. So, that is the reason key performance. What are the indicators you are taking for the evaluation? That is what here it is mentioned. Types of KPIs. A KPI must be well defined and measurable, communicated throughout organization, applicable to business or department, and crucial to achieve goal. Choosing the right key performance indicators is critical for measuring effectiveness financially and operationally. However, while most business owners know the importance of proper KPI selections, they don't often know the difference between the various types of knowing how to classify KPIs can help to expand upon the tracking of specific metrics and give a deeper, more through looking into business and its performance. So, the types of KPIs here, we have quantitative indicators, qualitative indicators, leading indicators, lagging indicators, input indicators, process indicators, output indicators, practical indicators, directional indicators, actionable indicators, and financial indicators. The first one is quantitative indicators. Quantitative indicators are the most straightforward of KPIs. In short, they are measured uh, slowly by a member, solely by a member. There are two types of quantitative indicators. That is, one is continuous and the next one is discrete. So, under continuous quantitative indicators can take any value over a range, and discrete quantitative measures include things like complaints, accidents, and rating skills. Example of quantitative measurements include measurement of dollar, time, and cents and weights. And when you talk about the qualitative indicators are not measured by numbers. Typically, they are a qualitative KPI is a characteristic of a process or a business decision. So, when you talk about the qualitative indicators, example of qualitative KPIs includes opinions, properties, and traits. A common qualitative indicator that organizations regularly use would be an employer satisfaction survey. While some of the survey data would be considered quantitative, the measures themselves are based on the opinion of a person. And qualitative focus more on the why as opposed to the how. Why as opposed to the how. And leading indicators, when you take the type of the next one is leading indicators. In the leading indicators, are used to predict the outcome of a change in a process and confirm long-term trends in data. In survey of several Fortune 500 companies, uh, around the metrics that they use as a leading indicators, 3M Corp, a mining and manufacturing company, supplied this answer that number of new patents, number of new innovations, and customer service perception. These are great examples of leading indicators. While in and of themselves, they are not standalone indicators of success. They are indicative of success in other metrics and serves as excellent and indicator of success in their initiatives. The next one is lagging indicators. In lagging indicators are used to measure results at the end of time period. It's at the end of the period to reflect upon the success or failure of an initiative. Often they are used to gauge historical performance. Some examples of lagging indicators include total consumer customer contact or total incidents. So lagging indicators give business the ability to evaluate the effectiveness of their business decisions and determine whether their business decisions facilitated the desired outcome or not. And input indicators are used to measure resources used during a business process. And some examples of input indicators include staff time, cash on hand, equipment. Input indicators are necessary for tracking efficiency in large projects with a lot of moving parts, but are also useful in projects of all sizes. Next comes process indicators. A lot of moving. Next comes process indicators. Process indicators are used specifically to gauge the efficiency of process and facilitate helpful changes. A very common process indicators for support systems and KPIs are focused around customer support tickets, tickets resolved, tickets opened, and average resolution timers are all process indicators that shed light on the customer support process. The other one is output indicators. Output indicators measures the success or failure of a process or a business activity. And output indicators are one of the most used KPI types. Examples of KPIs include revenue, profits. And directional indicators. Director indicators evaluate specific trends within a company. So these are different types of KPI performance indicators, and the rest we discuss in the next class. Thank you.